Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to the Duval Dive. Of course, I am Kyle Nash, the student of the game.
And I'm Travis Holmes, BigCatCountry.com.
And you're doing this thing on the Believe Podcast Network. Travis, the Pats got crack-a-lackin' today, and you were there for it, Miller Electric Field there, as day 4 of training camp has come and gone. I know I've seen some excellent stuff from you out there in the Twitterverse. I know everybody was a Twitter, quite literally, with an interception on the day for Travis Hunter. But there was another name I saw pop through your socials that we hadn't heard a whole lot yet, because he's been mostly dealing with knee stuff on the sideline. I'm being selfish and going full O-line. Patrick McCarry opening holes for Chris Rodriguez.
Amen. Pat McCarry, he showed up a little bit today early on. That was the name I wasn't expecting to be talking about much. But this first day of shells, first day of real physicality and hitting. Of course, we're going to have a conversation about the offensive line, defensive line, and the running back group. And Pat McCarry, shout out to him. Looked healthy, looked good early on. And because of that, Chris Rodriguez also early on looked very good, looked very healthy. So, hey, shout out to those guys. Coach Cohen said it earlier on. You're not going to truly appreciate what Chris Rodriguez is going to bring to the team until you're really hitting and everything else. But even without the full tackling, you could see it today. His vision was there, and also Pat McCarry, again, opening holes on a few early carries. So shout out to him. We'll see how that competition goes.
Walk us through some other stuff you saw while you were out there at Miller Electric, buddy.
Overall, the biggest piece is always the fact that the Jaguars walked away healthy. You didn't see anybody go down. You saw a generally clean practice. And that while we didn't get a chance to talk to Coach Cohen today, you know that that's a thing that's ringing out, because he talks about it nearly every time they have a messy practice or a clean practice. Today was very clean. And normally when you have the conversation that the day is very clean, you're probably talking about the quarterback. And Trevor Lawrence, he had one of them days, honestly. I'm going to say, whether or not when you see all the Trevor trackers that come out on the socials and the different publications that talk about him going 6 of 10 or whatever the number ends up being, just know he had one drop. He had a few tip balls, where his receivers had a chance to make the plays on the ball. He had the big one being the Jacoby Myers deep ball drop on the sideline. It was one of those ones where you could call it a drop, but it was also a very difficult reception to make if he misses it coming down to the ground. At the end of the day, Trevor was accurate on the deep ball and the short ball in the middle of the field. And overall, it was kind of one of those days where it's just like, even if that is not a catch, it's not on the quarterback. Because it was just one of those sharp days that you kind of expect from, your fifth-year quarterback. So shout out to him. Good day.
And listen, I love what I'm hearing too, that they're actually trying deep shots down the field. Oh, look, Eric Armstead there in the background. That's a whole fun thing to see the offense practicing on that. But just as Armstead walks back there, tell us a little bit about what you saw on defense.
That's my player. That's my player of the day. I want to be clear.
Okay.
The guy behind me was my player of the day, and I got into an argument with friend of the pod, Jordan DeLugo, Jen Jag.
Wait, you got in an argument with the ASMR guy? How you do that? Anyways.
He had his argument that, hey, man, Travis Hunter's he's obviously the player of the day. And I'm like, well, I don't know, because if he's being judged on offense and defense, and if you're just judging just his defense or just his offense, hey, Arik Armstead is going to give him a run for his money today, because Armstead he came ready with the physicality early on. And I paid close attention to the offensive line and defensive line today because, first day of pass, of course. And he gave Emmanuel Pregnon, welcome to the NFL moment on the first play, where he just jacks him up, slings him to the ground, makes DJ Dallas have to cut it back. And then on the 2 plays later, he gets the tackle for a loss, where I'm just like, dude, Armstead looks dominant. And I'm not that guy. I'm not. Say it. You're dominating guys early on, or maybe they're still getting acclimated to the physicality, whatever it is. He looks good, and we talked about it recently. Might be his first healthy offseason.
His healthiest offseason, I believe.
His healthiest offseason in Jacksonville, and he looks it. So, with his multiple tackles for a loss, with his dominance early on, with his physicality, kind of not shying away from that and giving these guys some real good work early on, I thought Arik Armstead was my player of the day. But to Jordan DeLugo's point, Travis Hunter, it's hard to argue against the guy who gets a long catch early on. who then gets another 40-plus yard catch over Preston Hodge later in practice, who also gets an interception. Great ball play. Jumps over the outstretched shoulders of Quentin Morris and just snatches it, falls over, rolls over, returns it like 30 yards downfield, down at the 20-yard line. How do you say that guy's not the player of the day? Because he's doing it on both sides of the field, making the biggest plays of the day on the two sides of the field. Yeah, Travis Hunter probably got it.
If it's in volume and only by volume, Jordan does have a point. I agree with him there too. And listen, that's what Duval's here to see, is him to do things on both sides of the ball and making Ian Rappaport look a little interesting in some of his interpretations going back to the offseason. We try to tell you, but well, a lot of you folks, actually, you divers, listen, let's call it what it is. Chris Saunders in the comments asked, did Jacoby Myers have a good practice? There was concerns with drops. And listen, just because a guy has some drops in training camp doesn't necessarily mean a bad practice. I think the fact that Trevor's even looking for him down the field is going to mean a long ball later in the season.
It's funny you say that, because I know that's going to be a lot of people's takeaways, especially if they're not here in camp to see it. If you were to ask me, before his drop, which happened in the last 2 periods of the day, mind you, did he have a bad day? I'd be like, no, of course not. He had a good day. He's been very consistent. He's been in the right spots, blah, blah, blah. The veteran that you expect him to be, moving the sticks. And then the drop happens. And again, it was a difficult pass, diving sort of attempt, 35-ish yards down the field. He has the ball in both hands while diving. He hits the ground. Ball pops out at the end. Could that be considered a drop? It's not really a drop, but it's kind of like drop-ish. You know what I mean?
We would all shout at the TV if it were to happen in a game. I hear that part, but yeah, in this camp, if the question is, did you have a good practice? He'll finish stronger next time. This is how you develop that, so that is a catch when it counts. I think you got a great concept there. I know that doesn't sit with you because you have high expectations for your Jags. I'm not mad at you.
I consider it a drop because because he's also had a rough go of it, dropping a few other passes in camps. It's the combination, not just the thing itself.
So if he had good practice today, the answer might be yes, but you're seeing repeat offense, something that's got to get cleaned up. Hey, it's a thing that happens for receivers, though. Again, there's still plenty of time. We don't need to panic quite yet. I mean, you know what? We're talking about this, Travis, and I have to be responsible in my own right and play the thing.
I mean, listen, we're talking about practice, not a game.
I like Trevor, having a good day. It sounds like there. Shadow Blade out about that in the comments, and the idea.
I mean,
yeah, go ahead.
We can get to the other big guys, and just mind me walking a little bit because it's raining outside. Just so y'all know.
Hey, this is what happens in the field, divers. It's okay. Just because we're called divers doesn't mean we want to get rained on and you have water all over us. I get you, dog.
Nah, man. But BJ Green, he had one of the better rushes I saw today. He had Brenton Strange on his back. And I want to be clear about this. Like, Brenton Strange, he worked him in the second period of teams, where he just kind of gave him a move at the line of scrimmage, kind of put that shoulder down, and all of a sudden, Strange is on his back rolling, and BJ Green is pressuring the quarterback. And I'm like, oh man, that wasn't the best go of it for sure. But overall, like, I thought that was actually on the Travis Hunter deep ball reception in the second period. So that's how that happened. It might not have actually been a legal play, basically. You know how this is. Like, we talked about this during the Tampa Bay Buccaneers training camp, joint practices last year, where it's a long catch, but it's also not a catch for a game situation because, this would have been a sack. And that's kind of what it was for BJ Green. So I thought that he had a good early on, but again, you've seen that against Brenton Strange is actually kind of wild because he's such a good blocker. Don't expect to see it.
Yeah.
But yeah. Go ahead.
Travis, I see you're in there. You're dodging the elements. We're coming up on 10 minutes here anyway. Let's go ahead and let you jump. I see.
No. We're going to get through it. We're going to get through it. I'm good. I'm in a good spot.
All right. Well, then, okay. Then I'm going to need you to field Shadow's question then. What rookie is surprising you day after day that they will get to a starting spot? In other words, what rookie is surprising you that'll threaten to see time and making a contribution come week one?
So Zach Durfee, I thought, had a solid day. Like, again, He's not going to get the reps that you're looking for, but he had the 2 pressures on the quarterback. I believe he had one rep what I considered a tackle for a loss, and I was like, all right, Zach, I see you. Like, you don't know that it's going to be, you don't know for sure that he's going to be that guy. And again, his biggest issue coming out of college was his injury history, but it looks good. I'll tell him, I'll say that. And I said it to Jordan DeLugo early on. Like, I thought he looked really good. Anton also, I talked to Spody, one of our guys, Spody, who basically said the same thing about Anton. Anton was working on the, what was it? Walker Little started on the right side, and Anton was working on the left side. And Anton was looking real good all of practice, just because you're paying attention to the offensive line, of course. But if you're talking about the big guys, those are my big ones. And then you have Ventrell, Ventrell. He's going to be kind of penciled in, kind of permanent marked in, whatever you want to call it, in that spot. And I thought he had one of the best run stops of the day. I mean, just popped the running back right in the hole. It was loud. It was physical, like all that. No, you good. So overall, I thought that was it. And then Parker Washington's play on the ball on a diving attempt by Ventrell Miller, outstretched arms, right off the fingertips. Trevor Lawrence, a bold, ballsy throw, fits it into an impossible spot. Parker Washington, 15-yard game, but them boys compete. I will acknowledge that. Like, from that perspective, it was like, all right, this is a good day. Both sides of the ball. Trevor Lawrence is on one, but the defense is not kind of laying down. I thought it was good overall, bro.
Yeah, no, I hear a lot there. That's a lot of what the memories I saw on Twitter. I'm seeing less of some of the others who had moments, no real CJ Williams mentions or anything like that. But I am seeing consistent.
You mentioned CJ Williams.
We'll get there. Let me say one last thing. It looks like Ventrell Miller is fitting nicely into the filling. I haven't heard I miss Devin Lloyd one time yet, but CJ, go. You got something. Go for it.
No, see, the CJ Williams was, oh, man. So he gets the 20-yard catch over Travis Hunter that was close to being a touchdown in the red zone period from about the 25-yard line. And I'm looking at the ref like, bruh. Because, again, I know I have a DB bias. I get it. But it was offensive pass interference with the full stiff arm all day. I hope they put the video on the social so I could be like, now y'all see what I'm saying? Because the refs didn't call it
on the next Duval dive, I'm sure.
So the refs didn't call it, and you know what my rule? If the refs don't call it, it don't exist. So it's not offensive PI because the refs didn't call it. But I thought it was like, well, again, they're getting them work because it's like that DeAndre Hopkins kind of look where it's pass interference, but the refs don't call it. Then it is what it is. That was what it felt like. So it was a great play by him, but also Travis Hunter. Well, that means you gave up a 20-yard catch, maybe even a touchdown, because that's how the rules go.
I see a question in the comments about Josh Cameron. Anything from him in particular today?
He had a real good block early on. Like, I didn't see a lot of catches from him today. I mean, it just wasn't one of those days for him. He's had a few good days where he stacked them up this offseason. Today wasn't one of them. Again, he had a nice block on a base Shaw Tootin early run. I believe it went for like 8 yards, where he kind of comes across the formation, gets a very good, very solid physical impact on the defensive back. Again, I can't talk about how it happened, but the gist of it being is I was like, all right, for a wide receiver, that's a really good block.
Well, and listen, that's what you want to see from a young guy. If he's not getting the ball in a day, You were saying something?
Oh, I don't even know. You broke off, so I don't even know what just happened.
Oh, okay. So what I was saying was, when you see a rookie that doesn't get the ball, seeing him make a play to turn something that would have been a potential short run into something that's pretty close to a first down, that's what you want to see.
Well, when you're talking about your wide receiver 5, wide receiver 6, you're asking for these guys to, 1, play special teams heavily,
right,
and 2, be able to block well. That's that Tim Patrick role. If you're not doing that, you may as well not be on the team or be on the roster. He's good at doing those things. He's shown us the wide receiver chops in multiple days of practice already. He's showing us the blocking chops now that he's actually, in pads and everything else. At this point, I still feel like that's stacking a day, even if he's not as prevalent on the receiving end of things. But again, we'll see as they keep having days going on.
And question in the comments from Travis Champagne: who's returning punts so far in camps today?
Oh man, I ain't gonna lie to you. I did not look at special teams today at all. I had to go to a potty break, and that's when you do it. So
well, throughout camp to this point, what have you seen as well?
Oh yeah, I mean you have Wortham, Michael Wortham, who's been returning punts. You have Trevor Pena, who also returns punts. Obviously Parker Washington Jr. and Josh Cameron, they both do, and I believe C.J. Williams even returns punts. So you have all those guys as options on this roster, where you're going to have a very nice competition because all of them have a little bit of experience, if not a boatload of experience there.
And then I'm seeing one from Duval TV in the comments. Nate Bocatron. Bocatur, what's he doing blocking wise? Was he blocking good is the question.
I was looking for him a lot today, but unfortunately, and those of you who are out here today, you know what I'm talking about when I say it. They did not set up the way that practice was on the opposite field. We're basically looking through the offense to see the players, if this makes sense. So we're kind of looking from that angle. So unfortunately, I didn't see a lot from Bocatur because of the angle that we were looking at. So those who were in the stands probably had a better view than we did today on two of the teams' periods. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing for Nate, but again, I didn't see much from him today.
Yeah, and there are times, it's just a distance that the press is designated a certain area where they decide to set up practice is kind of, at the whim of where the rotation is at a particular moment. So sometimes we don't always get the point of view. I know where you're going there for sure, buddy. You
got
it. Let's see. Calling it right now, Rob Rizzi. I'm calling it right the F now. Josh Cameron, AJ Brown type receiver. Okay.
What a call. Jesus.
I mean, he did put fire on it, so he knows it's a hot take. I'll respect that. Let me go to Shadow Broker in the comments. Shadow Blades. Sorry.
Shadow Blades.
I played too much Mass Effect. Do you think rookie wide receivers will make it hard for Gladstone to re-sign Parker Washington?
So that was what my original thought process kind of leaned to earlier as soon as the draft happened, because I'm like, these types of guys, C.J. Williams and Josh Cameron, these types of guys feel very much like the type of receiver that Parker Washington is. But then as you see Parker Washington ball out of control, you see Parker Washington and where he is right now. And you see Josh Cameron and C.J. Williams being very good, but obviously not what Parker Washington is. This is not shade to those guys to say that they are not currently a fourth-year NFL veteran receiver.
It's love to Parker Washington, exactly. The one way that you know for a fact that Parker won't be out there somewhere is if he's not signed with your team.
And the way Parker played today, again, it was hard not to make him the player of the game, but again, Travis Hunter exists. Yes. But Parker Washington is down there somewhere, and he sure as heck was today. I mean, his route on, I'm not even sure which safety it was, because it was on one of the late throws of the day. Parker Washington hits a double move. I'm not even going to say what the route was. A double move that results in him wide open by about 10 yards to the point where no one knew if it was a busted coverage or if it was just Parker Washington just did the safety that bad. Can't tell you, but at the end of the day, it's that. And then he already had his multiple great catches, though. And we talked about the Ventrell Miller near interception. That was a great contested, concentration sort of catch. Yeah. And I'm like, yo, if this is Parker Washington, again, this is an this is not an if moment. This is a win moment as far as that extension is concerned from everywhere that I'm looking, because I don't see how they let that guy off the roster at this current moment in time.
Well,
but for the future, Josh Cameron, C.J. Williams.
The comments agree with you, Travis. They're asking you to find Jimmy Stones and Baselli to get him to pay him.
They walked by us when we started the pod. They literally walked right by us. And they know, I'm sure they know, Parker Washington, they're going to find that couch change somewhere.
So with that being said, man, excellent rundown for the day's events. I know you're excited seeing all this positive when practices are for real because the pads are on. Oh, that's a good thing. Listen, follow Travis, all the socials, Travis D. Holmes. BigCatCountry.com. I can guarantee you he's going to be dropping something like his hot over there in those streams for sure. And of course, I'm Kyle Nash, Student of the Game. Find me on all the socials at the SOTG. And then Student of the Game on Facebook. More of these when we can make it happen, folks. But yes, a great Sunday to all of you as well. It was a good day out there for Duval. And listen, for my personal champion, Travis D. Holmes, thank you for all of you divers in the comments asking questions to keep this thing rolling. Special thanks, of course, to the champion for dodging the elements Like you can see, you look like a Twilight vampire. You're glistening
It's
in
still
certain
raining.
places.
It is
It's
still raining. Trust me.
We can see it, buddy. Yeah, it's a whole thing. So, with that being said, folks, an honor, joy, and privilege. Until next time, everyone. Class dismissed.